Assalamu alaikum. In the name of the most great, the most generous, the most kind, the most compassionate. Today I want to talk to you about peace. And there's a hadith about that I think is very important. Allah's apostle said, there is a sadaqah to be given for every joint in the human body, and for every day on which the sun rises, there is a reward of a sadaqah, i.e. a charitable gift for the one who establishes justice amongst people. Hadith Bukhari, Volume 3. Today is such a day that we should have peace. There's no reason for us not to have peace everywhere in the world. The time for wars of blood is over. We need world arising responsibly and spiritually. And today is such a day. We can't let people like Trump draw us into wars of blood. We need people like you and me to stand up for peace and help the people in our community and in our families and nation and world have the things that they need to live a good life. Education, training, counseling, consultation, medical and mental health attention. And in this, I invite you to join me at the shareholders' table for the First Supper, a feast of knowledge, understanding, and compassion. In groups sorted out for a great debriefing on where we have been, where we are now, and where we want to go in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, in the next 50 years, in the next 100 years. Do we really want to be looking at all the devastation there is around the world in 10 years? No. We have to stand up and start rebuilding, replanting, re-nurturing, encouraging, and support people in their efforts to be good people. We can't let, as I said, people like Trump draw us into wars of blood. We need people to draw us into world arising responsibly and spiritually. Like myself, like you, like other people who have peace on their mind. And the way we can do that is very simple. If we've been through trauma or very serious health issues or mental health issues or violence in the family or violence in the community or bullying at school, we need to get some counseling. And we need to debrief on where we've been, where we are now, and where we want to be. And that goes for everybody. In groups sorted out. The challenge is to figure out what kind of counseling might work. For myself, I had here and now therapy, and that kept me focused on today, tomorrow, and the next day, and stopped me from dwelling on the past. So we have to stop dwelling on the past, the wars of violence, and work on world arising responsibly and spiritually. There's no time like the present. So if there are no counselors where you are, then create a group that can help individuals in your community or family work on issues such as family violence, such as spousal abuse, child abuse. And it's not about making people into monsters, it's about looking into the behavior that makes us look like monsters and find a positive way out. Find creative solutions. Be there for one another and let no one be left alone. As this wonderful world has many benefits for everybody, it's time we looked after each other, cared for each other. Caring and kindness is important in everything that we do or that we leave undone. So don't let people like Trump or the bully in the schoolyard draw you into battles of blood or war. Instead, try world arising responsibly and spiritually. That means look after yourself. That means care for the poor. That means go to counseling if you need it, if you've been through family violence, or if you were the one who was doing the violence. There's a reason for all this negative behavior, and maybe it's time you found out why, and you found out how to change your behavior into good actions, into good words, into good behavior. And for the victims, in how to get out of the violence and find help. There's many things that need to be done in this day, and we can do it. In my view, from an epiphany I had, or a vision that I had while serving the street people soup at a soup kitchen, I had this quote come to me, and I saw the street people being held up by their souls at their elbow, and their souls were practically lifeless. But within them, there was something worthy that their souls came to assist them, to keep them going, to keep them motivated and moving, and not give up. Here's the quote. We are the Messiah, the prophets, the manifestations of God, the people of spirit, a living Messiah in the multitudes, not one of us, but all of us. We are all messengers of God, and we're all equally responsible for the care and well-being of each other and the world. So I say to you, take up your sleeping mat and leave it where it is, and work your way out. Work your way out into the community from within inside yourself. If you have issues you need to work on, then work on them. Find people that can help you work on them, professionals. Take personal and professional development. Take workshops and courses. Whatever can help you become a better person. Life is too short to let us just dwell on the negative of the past. So we have to look forward to a good future. And I have witnessed many miracles in the last many years since I went through severe depression. People helped me and were very kind to me, and I really appreciate it. And so I've been helping in my community by getting things for people who don't have the things that they need, who are living with poverty. That's my way to make a difference. And the other way I want to make a difference is by sharing with you some ideas that I have. And hopefully they will resonate with you and you will work on yourself. Because if we heal ourselves, we can heal our nation and our world, and we can heal our families. It doesn't work out that easy. It's a long, hard road, but it's worth the effort. You are worth the effort. I am worth the effort. The community's worth the effort. Your nation's worth the effort. The world is worth your effort. So rise above the wars of blood. Rise above the poverty. Rise above the violence. And get the help you need to be the best person you can be. And if you're already the best person you can be, that's wonderful. Then you may be able to help other people find their path to recovery and wellness. So don't forget, don't let people draw you into wars of blood or violence. Overcome it by world arising responsibly and spiritually. I know it sounds pretty hokey, but I've overcome so much in the last 20 years, well, 50 some odd years, it's really hard to believe. I wish I could tell you my story, but it would take a long time to tell it to you. But anyway, it's not my story that's important, it's your story. It's your story of overcoming injustice, of overcoming violence, of overcoming abuse, of overcoming poverty. And in overcoming it, it doesn't mean that you're going to be rich with money or rich with possessions, but if you're rich in spirit, you have everything. But certainly, worldly things can make a difference, like fresh, clean water, a roof over your head, and a warm bed to sleep in, and good food to eat, and good people to socialize with. So don't give up. Don't give in to despair. Rise above it, with world arising responsibly and spiritually. We can overcome our challenges with grace and dignity. And as I said, again, this is the hadith from Muhammad, peace be upon him, and it really resonates with me because I think that we should all be working on bringing justice to the world, to ourselves, to our families, communities, nations, and the world. Allah's apostle said, "There is a tzedakah to be given for every joint of the human body, and for every day on which the sun rises, there is a reward of a tzedakah, i.e. a charitable gift for the one who establishes justice amongst people." Hadith Bukhari, Volume 3. So for me, this means that we need to establish justice. And justice is the end of poverty. Justice is the end of wars of blood. Justice is the end of violence. It's the end of child abuse, the end of spousal abuse, the end of elder abuse. And we can all participate in helping overcome all of these tragedies and injustices through acts of kindness, through acts of caring, through acts of compassion. In the name of Allah, the most great, the most wise, the most compassionate, have a good evening. Annmarie Elderkin, Nanaimo, BC, Canada.